Seafarers exploring lands in the Indian Ocean chose not to drift too far from the mainland, but touched ports of call along the coast. They used their limited knowledge and crude equipment with the utmost care to select a rendezvous for their safety and the provision of refreshment. The port of Galle, situated in a strategic central location straddling the sea lanes of the Indian Ocean, was one of them. Galle then gained a reputation not as a city with an intense density of inhabitants, but as a rare meeting point of the transoceanic southwest and northwest monsoon systems, and a gateway to the hinterland, rich in tropical products and ancient crafts, and in short, was an emporium of exquisites. Much has been written by ancient, local and foreign travelers who have visited Galle. Around 545, Cosmas made a note on Galle in his copiously illustrated Christian topography, and seems not to have visited Galle at all. However, it was Ibn Battuta who visited Galle early in the 14th century and who referred to Galle as Galle. Among those who visited and wrote about Galle, the Portuguese historian Fernão Queiroz, Dutch Reverend Baldeus, German travelers Haidt, Zaar and Schweitzer are in the forefront. The Sri Lankan chronicle, the Mahavamsa, nowhere in it refers to Galle. However, the Sandesa, or the message poems, including Mayura Sandesya, composed between 1385 and 1391, the Tisara Sandesya, 1400 to 1415, Parvi Sandesya, 1430 to 1440, and Kokila Sandesya, 1440 to 1446, describe the opulence of Galle and the beauty of its maidens. The only archaeological evidence belonging to the 15th century, discovered in Galle in 1911, is the trilingual inscription in Chinese, Arabic and Tamil, and considered a significant piece of evidence for the antiquity of Galle. Zheng He landed in Galle on the orders of Emperor Yongle with the intention of taking away the sacred tooth relic, which was at Kotte, the then capital of Sri Lanka. He landed with his forces twice, and this inscription must have been placed on his second arrival in Sri Lanka in 1411. Lourenço de Almeida, son of Francisco de Almeida, the Portuguese viceroy in Goa, while chasing a Moorish fleet, lost his way and was driven away by adverse winds to the southwestern coast of Sri Lanka. The legend has it that one day, early morning, he heard a cock crowing and realized that there should be land nearby, and sailed toward that direction and landed in Galle in 1505. The municipal arms of Galle carries a figure of a cock on a rock, coinciding with this event in this legend. Later in 1524, the Portuguese were highly attracted by the rock-bound promontory overlooking the natural harbour, considered a suitable site for the construction of a temporary fortress. The locals were quite aggressive, regarding the establishment of a foreign settlement on their soil as unwelcome, and attacked with the forces of King Rajasingha. The attempt was repulsed, and the consolidation of the fortress recommenced in 1588 after several decades of delay. However, it was limited to the area presently known as the Black Fort. This strongest part of the fortress is made of material collected from the neighboring villages, subject to renovations at several intervals. The Portuguese smithy, where the weapons were manufactured, was located here, and the charcoal smoke blackened the walls when the Dutch took over that area, and consequently they commenced recognizing this place as the Zwart Fort or the Black Fort. Its original Portuguese name was Fortaleza. The Black Fort has features of a real Portuguese fortress, including tunnels, secret cubicles, masonry work constructed at different strategic points. And here, the openings on the lower terrain indicate that they were meant for the 8 cannons placed in the direction of the port. Portuguese historian João Ribeira, in his work Historic Tragedy of the Island of Ceylon, states, Galle Fort was erected on a land bounded on 3 sides by the sea and on the north by a line of rocks. The fence, with pointed logs on the land side, provided protection to the harbour. Outside, the high ramparts with 3 bastions on the land side, there was a moat which separated the promontory from the main land. The drawbridge on the south of the moat provided access to the fortress. The 2 bastions on the main rampart were named after Roman Catholic saints, São Iago or St. James, St. Anthony, and another, Conceição. More protection from the land side was expected than from the seaside, as the Portuguese were then the masters of the sea. Any possible attack was only from native forces that could approach from the hinterland. Among the remaining buildings, the oldest is the Roman Catholic Church, constructed a few decades after the arrival of the Portuguese in 1544 by Franciscan friars. Over the ages, this building has undergone several changes, and the old architectural features can be seen in a few specific places. On the 8th of March, 1640, 12 ships and a force consisting of 2,000 soldiers headed by Admiral Willem Jacobus Costa attacked Galle Fort and captured it from the Portuguese. The fort thus captured was strengthened by the Dutch by reconstructing ramparts encircling an area of 90 acres. The Portuguese scared of possible attack from the local king, however, but the Dutch had to consider any possible attack from both sides, from the land and sea, and therefore the construction of stronger ramparts encircling the promontory was vital. The total length of the new ramparts was 3 kilometers and consisted of 14 bastions, completed in 1683. The wall of the rampart was 50 to 70 feet in height from the ground level and 50 feet broad. Both side walls of the ramparts are constructed with granite, and the middle of them is filled with earth. The moat in front was broadened to a breadth of 30 feet, and later it was reclaimed and recently replaced by an international cricket ground.